We're back, y'all. In the last video, we got the body set, got all that done, and started on the cage. And now we're working on finishing the cage and starting bolt ends here. So I run a dual battery box that uses the front two seat bolt holes and then it bolts up through the firewall. Those batteries run the electric fuel pump and the MSD ignition for the engine. I run a fan style transmission cooler, and then I also run a third Optima 31 series yellow top battery for just the transmission cooler. I decided this time I put it on a damn piece of 1/8 inch plate and bolted it in because it just wasn't, I don't know what's different with this car compared to the last few, like I get Lincolns and stuff I've been running. But it wasn't laying out how I wanted it, y'all. So I decided let's mount it on a plate. Granted, I could have used 1/4 inch and made it really help the floor. But it's literally bolted in with just the 4 1/2 inch bolts. And then these bolts for the transmission cooler and the battery box are just through the 1/8 inch plate. Granted, it's not heavy, but I like it a little better, to be honest. It's up off the floor. So, we'll have to see how it works.
One hour later.
And then we just have to build spacers to the typically. So I've already did the one front plate where I gusseted the front cradle to the front rail behind the spring bucket on the passenger side. Now I'm going to do it on the driver's side, and then that'll put us starting with 4 plates, you know. And we're allowed up to 6, but I want to keep 2 in my hip pocket for round 2. What I'm going to do with these taco plates is tie the front of the engine cradle to the front horns. The 9802s tend to bend there, so we're going to put these in now because it'll be way easier to do it now than later once it bends. You want to be right here on my right. Up a little. On that towards the engine mount. Right here.
That's where it was. You just need to go up more.
Hold on. Watch yourself.
Do it. It's been a while.
You're good. Thank you. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I cut out a lot of the finishing up, welding the doors, buttoning up the cage, putting doghouse on, stuff like that. I mean, I just felt like it was just some boring content, so I cut a bunch of it out. But here we are working on the rear quarters and the trunk area. We've already got the bumper brackets welded on for the back bumper. And then we are using the chain pull cylinder setup for the porta power. That way it can squeeze these quarters together. We've put some square tubing on the outside with some plates. And then instead of pushing out, this thing squeezes in, and we use it to squeeze the quarters in and get the trunk pulled over towards the rails. Now that we've got some squeeze pressure on it, as you can see there, it started to wrinkle the quarter up by the door strapping, which is not a problem. But I'm going to take this bar that's got a plate on the end of it, and I'm going to V down the trunk pan on the outside of the rail, so that way it kind of V's down and allows the quarter to come over. And then you can see there in the corners of the taillight areas where I've already heated that up and beat that in as well. So that way, as it squeezes in, that continues to V in and allows us to suck it all together good and tight. Once I got it V'd, I just commenced beating it down in there a little deeper with the old ball peen. That way it just makes life easier squeezing all this together. Granted, this is the first time I've done this. Usually we just commence to just swinging away with a hammer on the outside. But this seems to work pretty well. It's not near as rough on the body, and it doesn't wear you out as bad as swinging a big hammer. And I think doing the next one, it'll be easier because I know the few things that I'll do differently to hopefully make this a little more streamlined. So, yeah, had to get the hammer out because it just didn't quite do what I was after. We even tried to heat that up some while we had pressure on it. Oh, there went the camera. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, sometimes you just got to resort to a big hammer to get things done the way you want it when you're on a crunch. But we got that beat around and smashed in the way I wanted it, and then we were able to get back to the cylinder and squeeze it in some more. I don't typically go at the quarters like this with a big sledgehammer. Usually it's a small sledgehammer and finessing and doing all that. But it was like 150 degrees in the barn today, it felt like, with the Indiana humidity.
There's a half-inch thick over on top of that well. But I need that line to get worked out before you get too wild.
Yes?
Yeah.
That new air hammer's got a little power, don't it, dear? So, man, there's my crease lady, y'all. We've always talked about it. Some people have seen it in the past, but she creases all the cars that need to be creased. She enjoys it. I don't mind it, and I don't have to do it. Well, I'm not going to let her have all the fun with the new air hammer. I had to try it out and see how it worked. And I'm going to say that new Harbor Freight one's got some more power than that 15-year-old Matco. The old Matco was wore out and had seen a lot of quarter panels and fenders. Alright, so if you know why we're creasing quarters and creasing fenders like this, adding body lines, drop it in the comments and let me know why. Well, while she's working on quarters, Bangles finish up welding door straps, I might as well go ahead and get this back bumper put on so we can keep moving along and checking things off the list. I picked up a couple of these bumpers last year from Robbie down at the Simple Solution. Robbie takes really good care with us with all our derby parts and things. This is around 11 gauge thickness bumper. It's fully gusseted. He sells them as a kit. You can either bolt it together or you can weld it. We chose to weld this one completely, and it's designed to where it will help the rear rails roll and take everything and keep it all nice and tight when it does roll. This is that part in life where if you don't have fancy equipment or fancy tools, you make what you got work. So a 6x6, a floor jack, and a chain all the way around. And then you put either 6x6s or 4x4s in your creases. That way you don't smash them with the chain. And you just jack up on the floor jack, and as it puts pressure against the chain, the jack actually pushes the trunk lid down.
A few moments later.
Now, as you can tell, we ran out of jack, so you have to do this in a few steps. So as it starts to go down, you just shorten your chain up every time until you get that trunk lid down where you want it. And always watch your fingers and never stand in the way of the chain. With the rule set for this show, you could dish the trunk, but the center of it had to be less than 12 inches down from the top side of the quarter panel. So we just took an old straight edge board here, as straight as it could be from Menards, and measured down through the center there, and we're at 10 inches. So what we're going to do is keep pushing that down and get it flat with the bottom of the trunk where the trunk latch bolts on. And that puts us right at our 12 inches.
So do you want me to get the big hammer and work some of it? Yeah. One side.
Well, it's got pressure on it from the jack and the chains. You take your big hammer and you just kind of start massaging it all where you want it. And it'll start to stay once you get things massaged into place. You'll be able to start welding it closed. We did 5 on, 5 off on the trunk lid. And once we get it welded pretty close to where we want it, then you can release the jack and all that and get that stuff out of your way.
I think this will work. Got to tighten up the crease lines. Do a little more quarter work back here on the bottom. What do you think of that? Now that's an up and over bar and a window bar. Shoo! That look rough. Well, y'all, I think it's done other than checking some fluids and paint. But, oh, and I'm undecided if I'm gonna crease quarters or not, or fenders or not. It's been a long 48 hours. A lot of good people helped me get her there. Just a few more nights and we'll be derbying. So there it is in all its glory. Shoo-wee.